I know I literally got to pick which one she sent me, but look at the design, it's so cute! Hello again team, and welcome back for another review video. Today, as you can see, we are reviewing the Sassy Pigeon HQ dotted journal. This one was very kindly sent to me by Beck of Sassy Pigeon HQ, so thank you Beck. And the exciting part about this one is that Beck is based in Australia, so this is a really good option for our Southern Hemisphere community members. Without further ado though, let's have a look at this notebook. As a disclaimer, I obviously have my own preferences when it comes to notebooks and planners, but what I more so care about is this journal right for you? We're going to take an in-depth look at this one so you can make informed decisions. Having a look as to where you can get this notebook, this one you can pick up from Sassy Pigeon HQ on Etsy. As mentioned, she is based in Australia, South Australia to be specific, which means this is a great option for our Southern Hemisphere community members. In terms of the journals that she has available at the time of filming this, we have 3 different cover options. So the Sassy Pigeon HQ logo, the Crimson Wand, and the Light Blue Rainbow. While the one I'm reviewing in this video isn't currently available on the website, outside of the cover options, the internal features of the journal are all the same. Having a look at the Light Blue Rainbow journal, you can see that our description tells us that we have 160 GSM paper with 160 pages. The paper is crisp white. We have a 5mm dot grid, 2 ribbons, a back pocket, and a hardcover. In terms of price point, this is $21.76 US, or $30 Australian, or approximately 34 New Zealand dollars. If while we're talking about this notebook, you reckon that it would be a perfect fit for you, then jump into the description box for a link to Sassy Pigeon HQ's Etsy store. So here we have the notebook that Beck sent me, and a big thanks to her. It also came with this little sticker set, which we'll look at in a bit, but having a look at the notebook itself, look at this icon. Isn't it so stinking cute? Beck was super awesome and let me pick out which journal that she was going to send me, so I decided to go with some witchy vibes. We've got the little hat, we've got the little star, I love it. Having a look first at the dimensions of our notebook, so from one side to the other, we're thinking approximately 14.7 centimeters, and from top to bottom, we're gonna need a bigger ruler. And from top to bottom, we have 20.9 centimeters. For the spine, we have approximately 2.2 centimeters, so it's your standard size A5 notebook. In terms of the cover that I went with, this is a faux leather black cover, but as said, there are different options on the website, including linen and different colors. You can see that the notebook does come with a little belly band with the Sassy Pigeon HQ logo on the front, but on the back it says there's a little bit of sass in all of us, which I thought was pretty cute. You can see the band just tucks into the front and back covers, so if we take that one off, and we can also see that there is an elastic closure on this one, but we don't have a pen loop. That elastic closure is nice and sturdy, so it's easily going to keep your notebook closed. As you can see, the page edges of the notebook are white and they fit nicely inside the front and back cover, so they're going to be protected. Opening the notebook up to look at some more structural features, you can see we have 2 bookmarks here which are nice and long enough to stick out the bottom of the notebook, which is important. Both of these are black, but I know that with different color options you do get different colored ribbons. In the back we also have a gusseted pocket, and in terms of the size of that pocket, that is 12.9 centimeters deep. The notebook does sit flat, but you do need to train the pages like you do with most notebooks. So those are our structural features. How about our layout features? So as you can see on the inside cover here, we've just got a completely blank section. So no pre-printed nameplate section or anything like that. No branding for the notebook. And after this, if we flip in, we have the first dotted page. As can be expected, like we have in most notebooks, this one is stuck to this piece of paper here, which means a lot of people tend to just stick them together and turn to the first spread of dot grid paper. And as we mentioned, you do have to train the page for it to lie flat, but once it's trained, you can see it lies flat very well. For each page's layout, we don't have any page numbers, and in terms of the darkness of the dots are fairly small and fairly faint, which is nice because they're not going to distract you from any decoration that you put down. Using the Archer and Olive as a comparison point, the dots on the Archer and Olive are darker. So a nice light dot grid, but still visible. In terms of our dot grid dimensions though, we have 26 boxes across, or 27 dots, and 38 grid boxes down, or 39 dots. So the same dimensions as the A5 Archer and Olive. In terms of the colour of the paper, as advertised, this is a bright white, possibly with a kind of cool undertone to it. If we compare it to regular cartridge paper, you can see that it almost appears kind of like a very pale grey next to it, but by itself you can see that it is just white. Because then when you compare it to the Archer and Olive paper, it almost appears more creamy, but it is still white paper. I wouldn't consider this to be an ivory or a grey, just white. The paper is smooth, but I'd say it isn't coated. Flipping to the back though, and it's time for a pen test. We'll be doing our pen test on this page, so one off the back, so that we can turn to the back and see if we have any bleeding, and also so we can see if we have any shadowing if we flip to the next page over. As we typically do for the pen testing, I'm using a bunch of different pens from different brands, so hopefully you can get a feel for how your pens would act in this notebook. For any of our pens or markers that you typically colour in with, I've also made sure to go over a couple of times on the page. So the stripes of colour there, from left to right, are going over it once, going over it twice, going over 3 and then 4 times. For the Zig Clean coloured dot marker, I've also done a variety of size of dots, just applying different amounts of pressure. So from left to right on that one, we're going from least to most pressure. At the bottom of the pen test, I also do a smear test, just for any of our left-handed community members, or anybody who finds that ink smudging is a problem for them. In terms of smearing, you can see that the 1 second option did smear, but that's essentially put ink down and immediately swipe over it. But all of the other ones didn't have any smearing. And that's probably because we don't have coated paper here, so that's less of an issue. If we flip this way to have a look at our shadowing, we don't have any shadowing because this is 160 GSM paper, it's not see-through, so you don't see any of the ink work on the other side. If we flip back though to have a look at any kind of bleeding, for that one we do have borderline bleeding, getting close to bleeding on the Karen marker in particular, which makes sense because the Karen marker is a really juicy pen, so that's not unexpected. For our other ones that we did colouring in though, we don't have any bleeding or ghosting from those ones. The other pen that we do have almost bleeding, like maybe you'd probably just call it ghosting, is this one here, which I believe is the Uniball Air Micro, which you can also see feathered a bit along with the Karen marker. And that's probably just because both of those pens are particularly inky, so we did have a fair bit of like ink dump on the page for those ones. As mentioned, the notebook did also come with some extras for me, so we have some little sticker sheets, which we'll just get out here. So we have a little sticker sheet on matte paper with a little dinosaur and a little Converse sneaker, which is pretty damn cute. So this one says, "Thank you so much for your order." So I guess my expectation would be that this comes with every purchase that you make from Sassy Pigeon HQ. And then we've also got this sheet of florals, which comes with a wreath and then these 2 little kind of corner design stickers. And I know that this is purchasable on Sassy Pigeon HQ's Etsy shop. So that begs the question, who is this notebook right for? If you're one of our Southern Hemisphere community members and you want a 160 GSM option for your notebook, this is a great option. It's more affordable than some of the ones that we get from America, and the shipping is probably less because it's not coming from America. The cover design is super cute. We've got the elastic closure, we've got the bookmarks that are actually long enough to be bookmarks. If you're the kind of person who doesn't need a pen loop, who doesn't need numbered pages, who doesn't need a dot grid that's really dark and super visible, then I think this notebook would be great for you. As said, we have really nice bright white pages. We've got the gusseted pocket. We don't have any pre-printed stuff in the planner, so you can really use this for whatever you want. Another great notebook option, and as mentioned, really good for our Southern Hemisphere community members. If you wanted to grab yourself one, do be sure to jump into the description box where we have a link to Sassy Pigeon HQ on Etsy. But if you are still looking for more notebook reviews, be sure to check out the playlist we have on the screen here. As always team, thank you for watching, and until next time, bye!